Hey, Lubbock, guess what time it is? It is time to focus, LBK. This is Robert Jenkins coming to you with episode 41 of the Focus LBK show. We're doing a Juneteenth weekend recap. We had a real good time out there in the ELBK, participating in all of the festivities. I think the parade was probably my favorite thing. I ain't gonna lie, but then again, that's because I was walking in it as a kind of almost as a participant. I was on the sidelines watching, and I was walking in it, weaving in and out of traffic. Luckily, everybody was going slow enough for an old cat like me to still do what I got to do with the camera. You know what I'm saying? One thing I was somewhat a little bit disappointed by, man. There was something on my camera lens, and I could not see it looking through the viewfinder and the LCD screen on the camera. But when I got back to the studio and put it on, started editing, I was like, man, it is something on my goddamn screen. I say, man, if that don't beat all, but that's all right. Y'all can easily look past that little speck. Probably shouldn't even have called it out, but now that I done it, it's all over now. Wanted to remind y'all, LBK, we got that downtown farmers market every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's down at 511 Avenue K. It's real good. Check it out. It started on May 25th. It runs till October 19th. That's every Saturday, 9 to 1. I'm going to get myself out there. Me and lovely wife used to love going out there, having a real good time, because it's just so laid back. And they got I think they got a wine vendor out there. What were they called? I can't remember their name right now, but they got some good wine. They wine is called Prairie Fire. If you happen to make it out there and you see some wine cats, a wine vineyard out there selling bottles, ask them if they sell Prairie Fire, if they make it. That's some good stuff. Anyway, by the way, since we talking about what's going on, today is Monday, June 17th, and you can still partake of some Juneteenth activities. We got the Juneteenth Jamboree going on tonight. It's the game night at 5:30 tonight at Patterson Library. That's 5:30 to 8 p.m. And boy, I tell you what, speaking of Patterson Library, man, we did that spoken word open mic that they had on Thursday the 13th. Man, that was so much fun. Just down home, simple, plain, make your own fun, supportive crowd. We had some local musical artists out there playing the guitar. We had Ricky, my man Ricky Sherfield got on the mic a little bit, sung his little favorite song. I did a couple of poems. And speaking of poems, guess what? They done wetted my whistle. Wet my whistle. They got another poetry slam coming up. It's a poetry to get slammed by. It's going to be Saturday, June 22nd at 7 p.m. at Mano Negra Brewing Company, 2610 Salem Avenue in Lubbock, Texas. I say poetry to get slammed by. Saturday, June 22nd at 7 p.m. Mano Negra Brewing Company. So if poetry is your thing, get out there and check it out. Oh, and let me swing back by, because also, remember I told y'all on Monday, June 17th, later on today, they going to have Juneteenth Jamboree game night at Patterson, 5:30 to 8 p.m. at Patterson Library. But tomorrow, Wednesday, June 19th, on actual Juneteenth, East Lubbock Art House, Ella, however you want to say it, from 5 to 8, they going to be having the Juneteenth at Ella. You know, whatever they going to do is going to be dope, so you might as well get out there and peep it out. Now, Focus Rehabilitation and Ministry Center, 100 Black Men of West Texas, and the Returning Citizen Association are going to be doing a community wellness day, understanding stress, addiction, and mental health strategies, Friday, July 26, 2024, from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. at May Simmons Community Center. So that's going to be, they're going to have Gaston Rougeau Burns, looks like. He's a doctor of psychology and a therapist of some sort, I think. He's going to be up there, one of the speakers. Natalie Miller, my sister-in-law, she's going to be one of the speakers. And, of course, that brother Ricky Gaines is going to be one of the speakers. I'll probably be out there taking some pictures, doing what I got to do. You want to learn more about it, go to www.focusrmc.org. That's www.focusrmc.org. Check them out. Yeah, man, it's I was talking about something a little bit earlier, and I kind of wanted to touch on this for the opinion part of the show. And, you know, I don't want to sound bitter, but in this country, I think it's very telling that fathers, this weekend was Father's Day. I hope you reached out to all the daddies and fathers in your life and told them Happy Father's Day and showed them some love and appreciation. But I will say, one of the things that is very revealing to me is the fact that fathers have to share their holiday, Father's Day, with Juneteenth, with Pride Month, probably some other stuff in there. First of all, that's a symptom of we got too much stuff on the calendar. But second of all, that's a symptom of the way I feel fathers are dissed and denigrated in this society. I wrote an article about it. It's on the front page of the focuslbk.show, focuslbk.show. It's called On the Importance of Fatherhood. And one of the things that I wanted to touch on in there is my experiences as a father. One of the things that I've noticed that my job seems to be a big part of my job as a father is to be the no in my family. To be the no. To be the backbone, the guide rail, the guardrail, however you want to term it. I'm the one that sets the rules and expectations. And I suspect most fathers do too. And I suspect that we haven't had good fathers in so many of our households for so long that many of our women probably don't know how to submit to a man setting those guide rails and guardrails and being the no in his family and setting those limits and those bars to rise up to. But that is a man's job. When I was talking to Reverend Clarence White up at the library during that Father's Day book tasting brunch, he said something that was so deep. He said, you're supposed to love your wife as a man because a woman needs to be loved. She does. Men and women are made differently. Importantly, though, he said a man needs to be respected. That's something that I feel like we as fathers don't get in this society anymore. We just sperm donors and paychecks half the time. It's how we looked at. And honestly, brothers, that's our fault for letting go of our responsibility so much. So many of us have. I have not. That's something I pride myself on. And I salute all you brothers out there that's out there making it do what it do as daddy to your kids and somebody else's kids and that man kids over there and that woman kids over there. Dr. Miles Monroe wrote a book called About Fatherhood, and that's one of the things he said. You always need to be a father to other people's kids. Sometimes people don't have fathers. A lot of things come from having a father. You get that, like I said, you get that hard no sometimes. You get those expectations that are set that you have to live up to. Your kids, as a father, when you speak, my wife even says all the time, lovely wife says, when I speak, my voice carries a different weight among my children than hers does, which is funny. You know why it's real funny? Because I'm not really the disciplinarian. Mommy, lovely wife, everybody's scared of her. I'm scared of her. Kids scared of her. The plants scared of her. We had pets. The pets were scared of her. Both our pets passed away, but when they was alive, they was. Mommy is the one that have that quick temper. You know what I'm saying? Daddy, to me, it's like I was laid back about most stuff. To me, as long as you was getting your good grades and doing your chores right and showing respect around the house and living up to the way that we raised you to be, I was laid back with my kids. However, when I wasn't laid back, it don't take much to make an impression. Like you said, that bass in the voice. The physically imposing sides. This is what some of the authority that comes with being a man. And it's missing in our households today. Many of them. Something like 75% of black homes don't have fathers in them. There's an article that I read back in 2012, and I've kept it ever since. It's at the Independent Institute, and they straight up tell you that if there is not a father in the home, then you are just going to have a super hard time, chances are, with the kid. I'm pulling it up right now. Check it out. It say, when the father is not in the home, I'm trying to figure out, okay, I'm going to read this whole paragraph to you. This is the independent.org. It's the Independent Institute. It's a libertarian think tank. I'm a libertarian. In this article, to restore the family, privatized and depoliticized. That's what it's called. October 11th, 2012. Also published in Fragmented Families and Splintered Classes. Anyway, this paragraph right here sums it up. He says, in the United States, the American family has never been confronted with such powerful threats to its standing and stability. While many scholars agree that a loving mother and a father in a healthy marriage are vital to the well-being of children, the nuclear family is under enormous assault in the academic and popular cultures which disparage traditional morality and civil manners. Dog, if that ain't true. I'm going to read that again. It say, many scholars agree that a loving mother and father in a healthy marriage are vital to the well-being of children. The nuclear family is nonetheless under enormous assault in the academic and popular cultures which disparage traditional morality and civil manners. In my article that I wrote about the book tasting brunch and Father's Day up at the Patterson Library, that's one of the things I said. Dads, fathers, men uphold the traditional morality of their society. They are the pillars. They are the ones that stand up like Gandalf the Grey and say, you shall not pass, and put their sword in the ground. You know what I'm saying? That's what men do. And it ain't necessarily got nothing to do with physical strength. It is courage and self-determination to know what is right for your family and say, you shall not pass. All that bullcorn y'all do out there, you can do it. That's fine, but you can't do it over here. But let me get back to this article. So the nuclear family is under enormous assault in the academic and popular culture. Boy, this was written over 10, 12, 14 years ago or something. But if he's writing that in 2012, look at today, how much more so that is. But anyway, he goes on to say, children are left unloved and without role models to nurture and protect them as they journey through adolescence into adulthood and beyond. Now, this right here, this next sentence, this is where I was really wanting to go with this. Listen to this. As a result of the family being disparaged, 85% of prison youths come from fatherless homes. 72% of high school dropouts come from fatherless homes. 80% of rapists come from fatherless homes. And 63% of teenagers who commit suicide come from fatherless homes. Lord, help. Y'all understand what I'm saying right there? Brothers, man, you got to stop. We can't be scared to be daddy. We can't be scared to be the father of our household. It's a great deal of stress and it's a great deal of responsibility, but Lord knows it is the most rewarding job I have ever had. To see your children grow up straight and true, strong, straight and true, as they say. Now they gonna make their own decisions. They ain't gonna do exactly what you say. But if you raise a child up in the ways that it should go, it will never depart. Something like that is how the Bible say. I can't quote it exactly, but y'all know what I'm talking about. 85% of prison youths come from fatherless homes. 72% of high school dropouts come from fatherless homes. 80% for rapists. 63% of teenagers who commit suicide, fatherless homes. And you trying to say we just sperm donors, we just paychecks. No, we are guide rails and guardrails and guardians. We are bar setters. We are no-sayers. Not naysayers, no-sayers. We say no. That ain't gonna fly in my household. That right there will not come into my household. My household will not do that. What my man said in the Bible, as for me and my household, we shall serve the Lord. That's what a man say. That's what daddy say. Whew, man. It just get down to the point where I just have to feel like anybody trying to tell you that men ain't necessary in society. When women say that, I chuckle to myself. They think because they got a good job, men ain't necessary. Because they think of man as being a breadwinner. But that's funny, because let something go wrong in your life, let something break in your life, the first thing you're going to do is call a man. It's true. You know it's true. You can be mad if you want to. I don't care. When your AC go out in the hot summer, You gonna call your girlfriend? Nah. You know who you gonna call. It ain't Ghostbusters neither. Men are here to be the... Yes, we are warriors. Yes, we are the maintainers of civilization, the builders and maintainers of civilization, especially this civilization. And I fear for the future because the generation of children that seem to have come up in this fatherless situation that we find ourselves in this country, they don't have the same skills that men like me and some of my brothers and guess what? I ain't even bragging about myself or my brothers because our generation is far weaker than my father's generation, and we're far, far weaker than our grandfather's generation. My grandpa was a bad man. He could do anything, man. He could fix anything. He knew how to hunt, trap, skin an animal, cook it, fix anything that break. He wasn't even educated. My grandpa had a no grade education. I don't know how. I'm not sure he even got past 3rd grade. He couldn't even write. He could barely sign his name. He couldn't read at all. But guess what? If things get bad, people always talk about the zombie apocalypse. If the zombie apocalypse hit and God came down and said, I could form me a team, a most valuable players of all time team, I would pick Grandpa to come back and be on my team in that kind of dire situation. You know why? Because he was a man. And that's what I want for me and my brothers. All my brothers of this generation and the next generation coming up behind us. But these young cats ain't going to know how to be a man. I see them. They seem to be just sitting around playing video games and stuff. I'm not even sure what kind of skill set they got. That's why I like my man Reggie Dial over there with is it L Roby that be teaching them kids how to get a trade so they can learn how to work with their hands. Dude, you can think we going into AI all you want to. You can think artificial intelligence gonna say artificial intelligence ain't artificial. It definitely ain't intelligent. Bunch of yes and no if then statements strung together don't make intelligence. Algorithms, you know what I'm saying? That's not the same thing as the ability to think. But even then, AI can't build nothing. It can't fix nothing. That's assuming that the electricity is still on. Talking about some Bitcoin. We putting all our faith in stuff that's virtual. Virtual is the word that you need to pay attention to. The world ain't virtual. The real world is solid. It ain't virtual. It's an actual thing. And you need actual men in there with actual skills and power in their hand to be able to make things do what it do and fix things and keep this whole country, this whole world running. This whole civilization, this global civilization runs on the genius and power and ingenuity of men. And guess what? Men do everything they do for women. That's why it's a teamwork, make the dream work type of situation. I ain't disparaging women. I'm not the kind of person that come along and think that to build up men, I got to tear down women. I know that women have their own mysterious power that motivates and impels you and drives you to get more and do more and be more than you think you can. When people tell you it's got to be one or the other, build up one and tear down the other, that's the enemy talking right there. Man, y'all done got me on my goddamn old soapbox over here. But see, when you look at them statistics, 85% of prison youth from fatherless homes and 72% of high school dropouts and 80% of rapists and 63% of teenagers that commit suicide come from fatherless homes. Yeah, you got to be on your soapbox a little bit. Brothers, we got to stay with our families, man. We got to do what our God-given calling on our life demands that we do. This is the importance of fatherhood. Juneteenth is all well and good, but guess what? That's in the past. We need fathers right now if we think we're going to have some kind of future. So y'all done got me to preaching up in this mug. Teaching, preaching, and reaching. Something. Anyway, LBK, I'm going to cut it short because I be done stayed up in this mug and got real deep and started hooping and hollering. I don't even know how to hoop. That's them preacher tactics, and I ain't no preacher no way. But I am a father. So I am a teacher. I am a leader. So are all men out there. Even if you have not been able to be in your children's lives, I urge you to try to be. Get back. It's painful. You failed. The lady involved, she probably had something to do with it too. It take two to tango, but you failed. What you got to do as a man don't depend on other people doing what they got to do or not doing what they got to do. You got to do what you got to do simply because it is your calling as a man. So brothers, don't be scared. Don't be ashamed. Get in there. Even if you haven't been there, find a way to get back in there and be a father to your child. I'm going to close this one out with that Ed OG and the Bulldogs. I'm going to put that back right down at the bottom of the page too. Be a father. If not, why bother? You know what I'm saying? Be a father, LBK. If not, why bother? And even if they don't give us our holiday clean and free like they do Mama's Day, Mother's Day, boy, they just revere Mama, put her on a pedestal. And I put my wife on a pedestal too, because she's worth that much to me. But just know that the way a society honors its members on their holidays tells you how they really feel about them, and you see how they diss and dismiss us. But that's all right. A man do what he got to do regardless of what those people around him think, say, or do. And that's a good place to leave it right there, LBK. If you got a good father in your life, throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. In the meantime, y'all have a great week, and we will see y'all next Monday. And by the way, y'all, we getting close to getting our own podcast studio built. I say built. Moving into one and getting it set up. We ain't building it from the ground up, but we're going to try to make it be toe up from the flow up. When we get in there, we're going to tear it up. We're going to have all kind of good conversation with all kind of good, worthy people around the LBK. So anyway, y'all take it easy. Y'all have a great work week. And with that, I'm going to bid y'all peace. 2 digits.